Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this video on the Libra Lunar Eclipse, which is opening up the Eclipse Portal, activating this powerful time of change and transformation. So we are going to dive in today to the main themes and aspects that are emerging during eclipse season, with a specific focus on the Libra full moon eclipse and how you can work with this energy to align with your highest path. Eclipses have a way of accelerating our growth, of removing from our path all that is no longer aligned to our highest timeline, to our soul's evolution and growth. And what makes eclipses so significant from an astrological standpoint is they happen on the nodal axes, which are the karmic nodes, the nodes of destiny, which is why they bring about big change and transformation. Now, I see this eclipse season as extra powerful for many reasons. One, it's happening just days after the equinox, which is the astrological new year when the sun moves into Aries and we start a new cycle, a new chapter, a new loop through the zodiac signs. And to have the eclipses happen just days after that really amplify this theme of rebirth and transformation. So we are going to dive deep today. If you are new here, a warm welcome. Be sure that you subscribe if you find this content helpful and supportive of your journey. When I share the astrology, I am not just sharing what's happening, but I'm helping you work with this energy to support you in your manifestations. And I'm also sharing channel guidance from the Akashic records, so it provides deeper insight on how we can work with these cosmic shifts in the highest timeline possible for our life and for the planet. And if you've been with me a while, say hi below and let me know how you are experiencing this energy. So there's always collective themes that emerge very strongly. And because we are also on our unique path and we also have a unique birth chart, we do experience nuances within this. So I always love hearing what's emerging for you, what's coming up for you, how you're moving through the energies. Is it feeling like a time of deeper overwhelm? Is it deep healing? Or are you really feeling the excitement of a new beginning? And none of it is right or wrong. In fact, there's so much power when we just acknowledge where we are. So before I share my screen and we go over the main aspects, I want to give a little bit of background on this energy. So lunar eclipses happen on full moons. Now, of course, not every full moon is an eclipse, but if you hear the term lunar eclipse, that means it's also a full moon. So powerful themes of releasing and letting go. The full moon illuminates the sky. It illuminates what has been hidden within us, making it the perfect time to do deeper layers of healing and releasing. Now, another aspect of the full moon that is often overlooked is it's a time of celebration. Because it illuminates what's going on, we don't just have hardships in our life, we have things we want to celebrate. Full moons are great for celebrating how far you have come on your journey, for celebrating what is working well in your life, what is flowing well, what you are really proud of. Now, this Libra lunar eclipse is happening on the South Node. In astrology, the South Node is a link to our past. It's where we've already been. It's things we have navigated. It's what we are now ready to release and let go of. So, again, big themes of letting go and releasing, with the full moon happening on the South Node. So, another thing I want to share about this energy is as we release and let go of the thoughts that no longer serve us, the habits that no longer serve us, the patterns that or loops that we may feel stuck in, that we're ready to evolve beyond, that's where the rebirth happens. We have to release to create space for new experiences. We can't keep entertaining the same thoughts, practicing the same beliefs, taking the same actions, and then expecting new experiences. We have to be willing to let go in order to expand into the new. So let's dive even deeper here with these energies. I am going to share my screen so you have a visual of the chart. So this full moon eclipse is happening at 5 degrees of Libra, opposing the sun down here at 5 degrees of Aries, and opposition is what makes this a full moon. And again, this is happening on the South Node, a link to our past, what we are releasing and letting go of. Now, understanding the Libra archetype is also very significant here. And Libra is the relationship planet. So relationships are very much in the spotlight at this time. And Libra relates to all of our relationships. So this could be our romantic relationships, our friendships, our relationships with our clients, with our mentors. This can also speak to larger alliances that are at play in the world, the relationships between different countries. Basically, every relationship is coming into focus with this full moon. And yes, there is a releasing and letting go of certain relationships in our life and ending of soul agreements. But often it's not that the relationships itself end. Yes, there is a time for that. Yes, there is a time where we no longer journey with people as we move forward, where it comes to an end and we go our own way. But more often, what this speaks to is a death of the old patterns, the death of the old ways of relating that are no longer working. So this could be where we need to strengthen our boundaries, where perhaps we need to start voicing what we need and what we want. This can be deep, deep forgiveness work. I feel from the Akashic records, I really received the download of we are cutting ties to past relationships and practicing deep forgiveness work here. So there can be people that we no longer have in our life that we are still allowing to emotionally influence us. We have cords that are attaching us to people that we may no longer see, we may no longer talk to, yet they're in our field if they're taking up space in our mind. If we have resentment toward them, if we have anger toward them, if we have judgment toward them. And this full moon is a time to cut those cords and set yourself free, to no longer entangle in that energy. So a powerful forgiveness prayer I love is the Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Now you don't have to call a person and say that to them unless you're called to. But this can be something you just repeat to yourself as you call to mind that person and you cut that cord. You no longer entangle with their energy. You forgive them, which sets yourself free, which sets them free. You can say this prayer to yourself. Where are you holding on to judgment within yourself? Guilt, blame, shame. Sometimes we're not even willing to look at these areas, these aspects of who we are, or these patterns, because there's so much shame around it. So if we learn to look at them with compassion, we can actually set ourselves free, and we don't have to carry around this guilt, this blame, this judgment, this unwilling to look at the role we play within our relationships, the patterns that are continuing to repeat. We have to look at them, to release them and let them go. So forgiveness work is so key here. Now, the other aspect of Libra, it's not just relationships, it's also about balance. Libra is represented by the scales, so it also speaks deeply to harmony and peace. And what I want to say about balance, because I think it's often misunderstood, is if there is an area of your life that you have been neglecting, you may need to give extra focus and attention to that area in order to bring about a greater balance. So if you literally think of a scale and you have 5 books on this side and 0 on this side, to bring about the balance, you're not going to put one book there and then another there. You're going to put more focus over here to bring about a greater balance overall to that scale. So maybe in your life, you've neglected relationships and it's time to call up a friend that's been on your mind and see how they're doing. Maybe you've overgiven in relationships. You've given so much, but you have not voiced what you need, what you want. And it's time to start start prioritizing yourself. Perhaps this is the area of your business. Maybe you have a deep desire to share your healing gifts. You know you have a message to share with the planet. You know you have codes of wisdom and healing that can help people awaken, heal, and transform, but you keep putting everything else, everybody else before your business, and you recognize it's now time to prioritize your soul's work. So that's what I would say about balance. What is needing attention in your life to bring about a greater overall balance? So we also have a big focus here on harmony and love. And I think we really care at this time about the world at large, about the people in our life, and we want to bring more peace and harmony into our world. So this is really helpful as we approach these different areas of our life and we see them through compassion. We see them through the eyes of love. Now, let's look more closely at the aspects here. The main aspect at play is a trine with Pluto. We have Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, flowing in harmony with the moon in Libra. They are both air signs. Pluto always denotes change, transformation, evolution. What must die in order for something new to be reborn? It is the phoenix energy of rising from the ashes. Where have we got lost in the chaos? Where are we going from struggle to struggle, hardship to hardship, in survival mode, and forgetting that life is about thriving? Life is about joy and pleasure. And yeah, there's challenges. I'm not saying we don't navigate obstacles and challenges and shadow work. Pluto speaks to all of that. We just don't want to get lost there. You're not meant to spend your whole life suffering and struggling. You're meant to move through that into higher realms of consciousness. And this full moon is ruled by Libra, the goddess of love, of beauty, of prosperity, reminding us that life is meant to be good for us, that we can find peace, we can find joy, we can create that. More than finding it, we create that within us. We align with that frequency. We activate that frequency within us. So deep transformation is happening here, deep levels of healing. Now, there is a lot of Pisces energy at play. So the ruler of this full moon is in Pisces conjunct Saturn, but we also have Mars in Pisces, and we have Neptune there as well. So the Pisces energy, this is interesting because this brings forward, once again, that theme of releasing and endings. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It's about healing and letting go. Pisces energy is also so loving, so compassionate, and it feels so deeply. So you're likely to feel a lot of emotions coming up with this full moon. Even though Aries and Libra and this Pluto and Aquarius are not overly emotional, this Piscean energy and the stellium that we have here is bringing forward a lot of emotion. And this can be emotions that are not even yours. It's like Pisces is very connected to the collective consciousness, very connected to cosmic intelligence and cosmic consciousness. So a lot of what you are feeling could be thoughts and emotions that are just in the field. We share a lot of the same thoughts. This is why it can feel like thoughts just suddenly pop into our mind at times, and we're like, where did that come from? And we don't want to latch onto it. We don't want to hang on too tight to certain emotions or thoughts, or else we keep them active in our field, and maybe they were just never ours anyway. Let them float on by, release them. Don't hold on so tightly. Pisces energy feels everything so deeply, but it also reminds us to go with the flow. It's a mutable water sign. Release, let go. Feel, move through the emotions, but don't allow your emotions or thoughts to define who you are, because you're so much more than that. You're so much more. Now, Venus conjunct Saturn. Anytime Saturn comes into the mix, there's an element of groundedness, of responsibility, of stability. So again, this really speaks to reviewing our relationships and really taking a close look at what needs to change. What needs to change? Where do we need to put in a boundary? Where do we need to do the forgiveness work? Where are we holding on too tightly to the past? It's like we have to bring closure to the past, or else we do continue to take it into our future. But closure is the word here. We put closure to it so we're not repeating the same cycles, the same patterns, the same stories that don't serve us over and over again, and continuing to live the same experience over and over again when life is actually about change and evolution. We're not meant to stay in the same place repeating the same patterns. We're meant to take the lesson, to find the blessing, and move on, evolve and grow. And that's exactly what we'll do as we step into our power as conscious creators. And we are intentional about what we focus on, what we activate in our field. The other thing here I want to bring our awareness to, so April is going to be an incredibly transformative month. We're going to have the eclipse happening in the sign of Aries. It's going to be a solar eclipse, a new moon, very, very focused on new beginnings. And we're going to see a conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus in the sign of Taurus, bringing about incredible growth and expansion and accelerated, like quantum leaps, quantum growth for the collective and in your own life. And I was talking to this with my students in my Akashic Records certification. Our class last week was all about collapsing timelines and creating quantum leaps as we work in the Akashic Records. And often what happens with a quantum leap is it's a sudden change. It doesn't look linear. It's like rapid change and growth that happens suddenly. But there's a lot that's behind a quantum leap. In my experience, it's a moment where the healing work we've done, the mindset work we've done, the habits we've worked to cultivate, the actions we've consistently taken all come together and they click. And we experience this incredible growth into what we desired. And it's like, wow, everything externally to somebody looking in on the outside, it's like, how did you get there? There was so much change that happened in a non-linear way in a short amount of time. But if we actually look at it, we're like, oh, it was a coming together of the habits I've been practicing for years, the healing I've been doing for years. It was just a moment where it all clicked. And that's a beautiful moment when that happens. So I'm really seeing that for all of us as we move through this eclipse portal. And we're really going to see that collectively as well. So those are the main themes here of this lunar eclipse. Again, there's a lot of peace and harmony we can feel into, a lot of releasing and letting go of the old to create space for new experiences. So I am hosting a ceremony where I'm going to be guiding you through activations in your Akashic records to connect with your higher self. I'm going to be guiding you through clearings in your records to release karmic cycles and old patterns, and to step into the new, to step into your highest timeline for this earthly journey. We'll also go deeper into the astrology and how you can find where these aspects are happening in your personal chart. So I'll attach the link below. This is actually happening today. I know I'm a little delayed getting this video out. I was sick for a while. I know you probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. And then I was traveling in Costa Rica, which was incredibly healing and amazing. So there is a replay, is basically what I'm getting at. So you can jump in live today, but there is a replay, and you have month-long access to my inner circle as a bonus. So you have all the content in that space, beautiful meditations and courses that'll help you work in your record, step into your power as a conscious creator, get your healing work and message out into the world and start receiving abundantly for it. And I'm going to be doing the total solar eclipse in Aries. There's going to be a ceremony for that you will have access to as well. So you're very well supported as we move throughout this time of transformation. So once again, the link is below. I would love if you could say hi below, if you could share this video out if you found it helpful. Share with me, what are you releasing and letting go of this eclipse season? Sending you so much love. Thank you for being here, for being on this journey with me. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now.